I'm Dave Peter of the Bailies of Bennachie and the Bennachie Landscapes project. As part of Scottish Archaeology Month for 2020, we'd like to take you on a virtual exploration of the Bennachie Colony. Bennachie's unique landscape hides a human story. Long after the Picts left their stronghold on the Mither Tap, landless settlers came to the slopes of the hill and set up homesteads and crofts, cleared the stones from the land and won a precarious living on the commonty of Bennachie. Today, the forest hillsides hide the signs that those 19th century crofters left on the landscape. The Bailies of Bennachie wanted to know more about their story, their successes, their trials and tribulations, their pleasures and privations, and their ultimate failure to survive in a changing world. Tree felling made some of the remains more accessible, and the time had come to add to the knowledge of the colony. Standard archaeological practice was combined with the latest technology and aided by increasingly accessible archival sources. Bennachie and the Bailies may be special to us, but in showcasing our experiences, we want to show how these same ways of working can be employed by other communities, no matter how rural or urban their local landscapes may be. Taking a walk on Bennachie, it is hard not to notice the stones that lie all about. Some of them form shapes and patterns, clearly moved around by human hands. On the lower slopes of the hill, much of this mysterious handiwork dates from the time of the colonists. There are tumble-down dry-stained dikes bordering lost fields, and the distinctive rectangular remnants of people's houses, with their associated kailyards or kitchen gardens. The first Ordnance Survey map of the hill gave us a record of the layout when some of the crofts were still occupied and farmed, and before extensive forestry obscured the signs of a once busy community. With the passage of time, subsequent mapping showed less and less of this detail, until archaeologist Colin Shepherd, working for the most part in dense forest plantation, succeeded in mapping the entire footprint of the colony and bringing it to the attention of the landowner and the Bailies of Bennachie. Advanced imaging technology, known as LiDAR, light detection and ranging, which can see through the vegetation, captured these features from the air, revealing much that was previously unseen. And so, with curiosity kindled by what we see around us, we can seek out the work of others, conveyed in old maps, official documents, newspapers, books and academic papers. And, if we're lucky, tales and traditions handed down through the generations by word of mouth, which bring the print to life and fill the spaces between the lines. For example, at Bennachie, some people viewed the colonists with disapproval, classing them as outsiders and casting doubt on their reputation. From these clues, we can frame research questions which will give direction to the study and which the archival and archaeological work will help to answer. This is not the first time that the story of the colony has been told. We'll begin with the authors whose works are our immediate go-to source of information. Alex Ingson McConaughey was a lad of Perth's, brought up in the local village of Oyne in the 1860s in the household of the Inverurie station master, and clearly a lad with an ear for the local stories. He would have been well placed to hear all that was to hear about the good-going colony on the other side of the hill. You can read all about it in his popular and fact-filled guidebook Bennachie, published in 1890 with subsequent reprints. The Reverend N.L.A. Campbell, minister at nearby Chapel of Geary, gathered information in the 1930s, later publishing an article in the Book of Bennachie. 19th century farm worker James Allen, in Agriculture in Aberdeenshire in the 1860s, wrote about his experiences of meeting and working with the colonists, and his account has been published in Bennachie again. Helen Fraser, clerk to the Bailies, delved further into the family histories of the colonists for the newsletter Bennachie Notes. It was in 2009 that Aberdeen University PhD student Jennifer Fagan researched official records such as census returns, registers of births, baptisms, marriages and deaths, Kirk Session records, and poignantly, parochial board records which concerned those in poverty. And so, from this rich inheritance of field observations, folklore and desktop data was born the Bennachie Landscapes project. With volunteers ready and willing to get cracking on the ground and rustle through the archives, and with welcome mentoring by professional archaeologists and archivists from the University of Aberdeen, we were all set to take the colony story to the next level, as you'll hear in the next 3 episodes of this series.